What a crowd. What a crowd.
What a crowd.
What a crowd. It's so
every
good
time I
have
see that
everyone
guy
here.
in the red trousers hit those knees, it makes me wince. Oh.
Yeah, whenever Rerun jumps up in the air and hits the ground, man.
Is that the same guy at the beginning as well? Is it the same?
No, I don't think it's the same guy.
No, different guy. Okay.
No, I'm telling you what, man, you get over 40 and
which I am,
you start to think about those knees.
Yeah.
You don't hit the ground quite as hard as you used to.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that damage there. You know, that's going to cause some. It's going to cause some ugly.
Yeah.
You know,
later on, is going to regret that.
You don't recover as quickly in the morning, do you?
No.
Speaking of mornings, how's everybody's morning going?
Real good.
It's an interesting one. It is
interesting.
My morning was good. It's afternoon now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, there you go. Nick, what's interesting about your morning today?
Well, part of it is I just found out that Cookie Morris came up positive for the unspeakable.
Oh, for the vid?
And that,
oh, man.
That, I mean, it's assumed that Brian does too.
Oh, man.
So, you know, they're heavy on my mind, heavy in my thoughts and prayers and all that.
No, I know several
of
people watch and pray. Yeah. I know several of the people that watch pray, right? So, guys, I want you praying for Brian K. Morris and Cookie Morris. Okay? I want you to, send up the real prayers, not that, Now, some people say, oh, thoughts and prayers, that would mean nothing. I'll be honest with you. From someone that was laying in a bed almost dead and my wife at home, thoughts and prayers meant a lot.
Yes.
Amen, right? Zim can contest to that. Thoughts and prayers do mean a lot. So be praying for them today. Pop them a note if you know them. Let them know, hey, we're thinking of you. We love you.
And if you don't, go to risingtide.pub and follow his monthly newsletter. He's a great author. He's a great supporter. And even Glenn will attest to his editing prowess.
Yeah,
he's pretty good, yeah.
One heck of an editor.
Never lets anybody know, but yes, he is good, yeah.
A vision of humility.
Yeah.
But,
I'll tell you, this show today is brought to you by Brian K. Morris. He doesn't realize it, but Nick and I are here, the bro hosts, because we met through Brian K. Morris's show.
Yep.
Never mind the furthermore. So, yeah.
And it's funny because, boy, our planned conversation couldn't be a more BKM friendly conversation.
Yeah.
Of any. It's glorious.
we've got the perfect panel today for the discussion we're going to have, aren't we? We've got the seasoned and tested veterans of the comic industry, Randy Zimmerman and Glenn Fleming. And,
okay.
That's not gray hair. That's salt. That's seasoning. That's what that is. That's what that is.
Well, experience right there. It's because they don't have anything on
experience.
top. That's what it is.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
The reason why he got no hair is because his brains are so big it ran out of room to grow. So they had to all of that.
It's truly a solar panel for a sex machine.
Speaking of Brian K. Morris.
It's been a while since I've heard that one. That's beautiful. I felt bad when you said all the seasoning was right there.
Yeah, it's the way it works.
I
learned that a long time ago. Plus, it hides my incredibly weird-looking chin. So
there you go.
I have what is
under
known as
here,
a booty
under
chin
here,
under
I
there.
look so weird.
With a big dimple right there.
Yeah.
Just to see if it looks as ridiculous as it did when I covered it up.
Yeah,
My
without the beard, I
stepdaughter
look like a ridiculous fool.
That was years ago. Yeah.
My stepdaughter upset her grandfather many years ago, and because they were in class and they were describing their parents. The kids were describing their parents and grandparents, the people at home, and she described her granddad as having black and white hair because they have these grey streaks.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy about that. But
speaking of Brian K. Morris, we got him here today.
So,
what? Thanks, guys. Much love to y'all. Now start raging on. Now start ragging on me before.
I name you all on my will.
This is what he edited. Look at that, Brian. All your work. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all his. All Brian on that one.
And we were talking off the air about how family, always seems to fight over the remnants of the dead. And, Brian, I won't fight if you give away your comics to somebody else, but I might put up a fight over your paperbacks if I get the chance.
Yeah. So, if I don't already own most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Glenn, how's your morning going, man? It's already late in the afternoon for you.
Yeah, well, it's just after 2, I think.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I've not really done a lot this morning. I've been sort of researching, really, if that counts. But yeah, it's just a normal day. Nice. Could do with.
Oh man, I'll tell you, at a certain
I want to get on an aeroplane somewhere. I want to get on a plane, and I haven't been on a plane for years.
Fly somewhere. You want to get on that really little tube full of the vid and go somewhere.
You really want to get on a plane right now, though? That's the question.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do. I would. If I had the opportunity to get on an aircraft this afternoon, I would.
You'd do it, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Why wouldn't you? I'm sorry. I feel like I'm missing something, Sim.
Oh, because of
with all of the hassles with the airlines.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
Just saying that I was hoping to. Helen and I were hoping to come over to America in August, next month, but we don't know about over there in America. But they've cancelled literally hundreds and hundreds of flights to all over the world. They've laid people off. The people are in 10-hour queues to get on a plane. So we've just binned it for this year, basically, because you just can't. I don't want to go. I mean, I would, because I've done it before, but I'd rather not spend 7 hours in a airport waiting to fly on a 7-hour flight.
Yep.
I've done it.
Life's too short. Life's too short to waste it in queue.
Yeah. The last time I flew was in 2003, and I was coming back. I was coming back from San Diego Con. I'll never forget it, because I was there to help Bernie Wrightson sell artwork and stuff. So we set up and tore down the display. And anyway, this was a couple years after 9/11, so security was impossible. I mean, we were waiting 45 minutes just to get to the metal detector to have them look through our baggage. Well, they're looking through my baggage, and they found this little pair of scissors that I loved, that I used to trim my beard with. Just a beautiful set. You have your favorite tools. This was one of mine.
Oh yeah.
And the guy at the airport baggage counter says, "We're gonna have to keep these." And I said, "Well, really? Why?" And he wouldn't tell me. He just had 2 other bigger guys, about 1.5 times my size, come over and stand next to him to say that he was going to keep them. So I was, whatever, and left. Made the connecting flights, and there were 2, and got home. Was tearing through my bag. The bottom of my bag that went through the X-ray machine was this incredibly large packing knife that I had brought with me, that I had thrown in my bag absentmindedly because I knew better than to take it on the plane. But it was sitting right there in the bottom of the bag, and it would have been seen by the X-rays, and they never picked it up. They would rather have my little pair of beard trimming shears that I love than some knife that I had to buy in San Diego in order to because if you've ever done San Diego Con, they shrink wrap everything when you have to unload everything at the docks, and they shrink wrap it all up and pack it all up really tight and move it by a forklift over to your place.
Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, that's
crazy.
It starts tonight.
It's this weekend. Yes,
this weekend.
Yeah.
So we should be getting a lot of fun news coming out this weekend.
It'll be huge.
One time I was at the airport, Zim, and I had to either throw away a pocket knife or mail it back to myself.
Yeah.
I could mail it for $50.
Well, I didn't even have that option. They were just going to supposedly throw them away. I knew the guy was going to keep them because he looked them all over and played with them a little bit. Just
all of it, and then they auction it off in lots. They make a huge amount. I mean, it is a staggering amount of money in all the impound things that they auction back off.
Sure.
And if you don't mind cleaning up some really kind of shady looking stuff, it's definitely wear gloves material.
Yeah.
You can get some really cool stuff
So we're just gonna hose this stuff down.
No, I'm not even kidding. It's wear gloves and a mask and probably eye protection because some people are disgusting. But yeah, I've seen
some people are disgusting. I think most people are disgusting.
I thought I was going to be detained one trip to New York when the guy said to me, "Take your shoes off," and I didn't know about this new thing. It was to do with that Richard Wright, was he called, that shoe bomber guy?
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you joking?" And this guy just looked at me. I said, "You're joking, right? You don't want to take your shoes off, do you?" He said, "Are you refusing to take your shoes off?" And I said, "No, of course not. But are you having a joke?" And the entire security force of the United States descended around me.
Yeah.
I said, I'm taking them off. Didn't know. I didn't know.
Okay,
Calm
take
down.
off my dang shoes. Chill out for a second. Gosh. I'll tell you what, nobody's more uptight than the United States government. I'm telling you what, these guys, they can't take a joke.
That's why you always wear pajamas and slippers anymore when you go on a flight.
You joke about killing one congressman.
You dress just like a prisoner.
Isn't
that interesting?
Did I tell you when I went to Canada with the immigration officer? Did I tell you that story?
No.
I went to New York. I went up to Niagara Falls, and we were going to go into Canada, and we go over this bridge into Canada.
Sure.
So you have to queue up and all this kind of thing. And there was this girl, this lady, right? I don't know what they call this week. This female. With all the badges, because you guys always look fantastic, policemen with all these badges everywhere, look fantastic.
Yeah, we did.
And she's sitting there, she was gorgeous, blonde hair, she was gorgeous, this girl.
Oh man.
Right? So
yeah,
she says, like this, come here. They do, really stern. I know they can't be your friend, but they could be polite, they have to be rude. She goes, you come here.
No, this ain't England, man.
So I went over to her and I gave her my passport, and she's sitting down, she's looking through my passport, and she says, have you been to Canada before? And I said, yes. I can't find it. Were you an illegal immigrant? Can't find the stamp. No, it was a different passport. So smoke started coming out of her ears then. But I've long learned, when you go through immigration and places like that, I've learned, answer the question. Don't talk to them, answer the question. And she said, have I been to Canada before? And I said, yes. And she couldn't, because she couldn't find the stamp in the passport. I said it was in a different passport, and she didn't like that. So they're just rude. I'll tell you what, there's no need for it.
Speaking of someone who's rude and disgusting, I'm joking.
Whoa!
I'm joking.
Wow! I'm kind of hurt.
I've been working on an intro for like 4 seconds. I was working on an intro to bring you in. I was like, I gotta find a way to mess with my buddy. I gotta mess with my buddy Odin today. Yeah.
How are we doing? What a great panel we've got here.
It's amazing.
Fantastic panel we've got. How are we doing?
I was just invited, so here I am.
Yeah, fair enough.
Doing great, man. Doing great today.
We flashed the Zim signal across the sky.
So Odin's here today. He's gonna try to boost signal for Aquila this morning a little bit.
I can do that. Yeah.
We'll get to that later. First thing I want to do. So today we're gonna be talking about public domain characters.
Oh,
and we're gonna have the public domain character shootout. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some characters that have been lost to the annals of time. They've been forgotten. They have been discarded. But you know what? We have an opportunity to bring back some of them to our remembrance, and maybe inspire some of our great maybe some of our panels, maybe some of our guests in the comments to grab one of these characters and make something awesome of them. So that is what we're going to be doing. Let's get to the speaking of our chat. Let's get to the chat, see who's in here today. How about we do that? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Well, Tarks9 is a new member, so that's a big
Tarks9 is a new member. Welcome, Tarks9, to the family, to the Bacon Nation. You can be a member too. All you have to do is go down there and click that little member button, and for $3 or $4 a month, you can join the Bacon Nation. You'll get content before other people do. So I've been uploading content, and members get to see it for a few days before the rest of the world gets to see it. And you also get new special icons and things like that you can pop in there. And so, yeah, definitely check that out. Speaking of members, we got Joe Bachman. He is a member. Good morning, folks. Joe's just dropping by to drop a like on the show. He'll be back in to listen in a bit. Here's the deal. You too can drop a like. You believe it or not, those likes and those shares and those comments, they help us tremendously in the algorithms. And so we need your help on that. That costs you absolutely nothing to do that, to help us out with that. Subscribing, liking, and sharing and commenting, it does a world of good for any of us, especially us small-time YouTubers, and definitely helps us reach our audience a little bit more and puts us at the top of the algorithm. So we do appreciate that. And he's saying, good morning, folks. Good morning, folks. We've got Agent Zero here today. Agent Zero, good morning, Joe Bachman. How in the world are you? We got William Pace here today. He says, hail, Luke and company. Hail. It's nice to see you. Eric Hawkins is joining us this morning. Good morning, all. Eric's great to see you. I got a package from Eric Hawkins over in my pile. And I think I'm going to be opening that, maybe doing a video of opening that. Man, I've got so many books, so many packages that I have not opened from my 5 months in the hospital, Zim. I don't know if you're like this or not, but I have not opened any of them, but like one or two. And I've decided I'm saving them. I'm going to go through and try to do opening videos for a lot of them.
Are you sure my Kirby book's not in there, Luke?
I'm positive. I've looked through it. I'm keeping track of all of them.
I don't want to sound mean or bitter about this, but nobody sent me a package while I was down. None of the campaigns that I bought into got fulfilled while I was down.
Are you kidding me?
None of them.
Wait, Randy, I was fairly certain I got you your book while you were down. Didn't you? Didn't I?
I don't remember getting your book.
You don't have the Embrace yet?
No, I do. I got it right before I went down.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I think either that or yours was the only package that came in. I got, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on stuff that I bought into.
I got a mess of packages.
I went down. Yeah.
No, I'm keeping track of all of them so I can let people know, like, yeah, I got your.
I do have copies of the Embrace, though. I remember seeing that. It was really good. Looked awesome.
I appreciate that. When you said it, I had like a massive heart attack. My throat just what?
Oh, speaking of the Embrace, you've got another issue getting ready to come out, don't you?
Yeah, we've got the pre-launch page up. We just passed 200 signups, so if you haven't gotten in on that, make sure that you do. There's some really fun pre-launch specials. We're doing a holographic trading guard for all the people that sign up for the pre-launch. That's done by Zubius. Really, really cool home and our take on the embrace.
Your internet is you're really wobbly. We're not hearing much what you're saying. It's not really coming through too well.
Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna pop out and pop back in. I'm gonna see if I
Sounds
can.
like a plan. Sounds like a plan to me. In the meantime, so Eric Hawkins, nice to have you here today, and we'll be looking at your package here soon.
Wow.
I didn't even realize what I said until it came out. It was one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh.
That's what she said.
It was like I
For
couldn't
Zim,
even stop
I have
it.
to ask,
It was
find
like a
this
flock
fucking
of
full
doves.
poll.
Like a flock of doves. I was like, oh my gosh, that just happened.
Because I'm listening to Luke over here while he's laughing about his joke, because he won't be able to talk because he's laughing too hard. I know him.
Okay.
And he's talking about, he came out of the big sleep like it was Christmas morning, and you came out with no packages. So I'm wondering, look through your house, see if there isn't a sock nailed to the wall full of coal, and like maybe this is a Santa Claus situation.
Well, I had all my Christmas gifts brought to me after I woke up, or I was awake during Christmas. But no packages that I remember. I got the embrace either right before or right after I got back home.
All right, folks. So here's what you
right
gotta
before.
do.
Probably right before.
Karma owes Zim.
Oh,
So
no.
No,
not
bear,
begging.
give me a second.
No,
Give
not
me a
karma.
second. I'm doing something nice.
The
Give
people
me a
he
second.
backed. Oh, Zim.
If you have an ash can or an issue 0 or something, I know Zim has a PO box of some sort that he can tell you or the address, whatever he's cool with. Send him awesome stuff because he didn't have it when he woke up. So what we're going to try to do is, it's not too late to do a little Christmas in July. So everybody
Flood
will
Zim
be
with
decided
awesome books.
that Zim is the person who deserves it right now.
I deeply
Send Zim
appreciate the
goodies.
sentiments, but I will always take goodies.
Yeah, I'm serious. Hashtag send Zim goodies.
Send
There you
some
go.
goodies.
You got a new one.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I
Sometimes
appreciate
that
it.
works.
I do.
We've also got Richard Hertz here today. Uncle
Oh,
Phil
oh.
was an absolute unit of a man. Yes.
All I can hear is, Jeffrey, bring out Lucille. And it just,
Right, yeah. Every time I hear him, I hear Shredder.
oh yeah.
I hear Shredder from the Turtles, and every time I think of the Fresh Prince, I'm always reminded of that one scene where this is when I realized Will Smith had some acting chops, and he had a real future. You see, it was an episode where his dad came to town. He was supposed to be taking him, they were going to be going and doing something, and he winds up leaving, and Uncle Phil is the one that like kind of catches him leaving, and and then the guy leaves. His dad leaves, doesn't take him, and so he's like, I don't need a dad, I don't need him, all that kind of stuff, and then he just breaks down. He goes, why don't he want me? And he starts to cry. And I remember James Avery, he just grabs him and hugs him, and it looks so real, that uncle and that nephew kind of relationship, and just that hurt and that pain felt so real there. And I was like, man, people don't realize this stupid little comedy show that just got real. These men are talented, and obviously Will Smith went on this year to win Best Actor, and then he had to screw it all up by slapping the crap out of him.
I was looking there. I can't remember the movie's name, but there's a movie came out in 1969 that had that exact word for word, action for action scene. It was a shtick. It was a shtick. They won't fess up that it was all.
Well,
it was all shtick.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I couldn't believe if he did hit him. I couldn't believe that why didn't go over.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry. If a guy like Will Smith hit a little dude like that,
but I'm also looking at like, why would they do that as a shtick, and then have Will basically is fired from the academy. He's
I think it escalated when he went back and sat down.
Yeah,
I think that's where it
like maybe it got real for Will for a second.
Yeah,
instead of like
a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah,
because I think here's a problem. I think Will's been cucked for a long time. And there's something that happens to a man when you don't have control, and you have a woman that's treating you like that. Men's mental health is a big issue. I think what was it? Not last month, but one of these months was men's mental health. The suicide rate of men is out of control because there's a lot of pressure on men to,
it's number 2 to heart disease, possibly number 1, because they can't prove all the suicides are suicides. Because men don't usually, the way that men do it, they don't usually leave notes and stuff.
We don't leave a note. Why? Why bother people with the note? If I were going to do it, I wouldn't leave a note. Just freaking do it, Like, that's the thing. Because why bother people, right? Because that's the whole point. Man, you're not supposed to bother people. You're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to man up.
Luke,
be tough.
I want to thank you because you've done the show. I don't know how many episodes we've done, but you were quoting men, and please don't do this. You know what I mean? First off, don't. I've dedicated a huge part of my life to talking people down. I literally lost count in the triple digits. Please. I don't want to lose anybody else, and I'll leave it there. But Luke said, just do it, and I flinched expecting you to reflexively run. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know this is a horrible, horrible subject, and I take it dead serious. But my brain does weird things.
Why would I do that? Do it! That would be so inappropriate. Why would anyone do that?
Oh, God, just... He tap dances on the razor line. But, I literally...
But seriously, mental health in men is a big deal. I'm telling you guys, and here's the thing. I am here for you. Pastor Luke. Not Luke, the guy, the nerd. The Pastor Luke is here for you. If you're out there and you're having trouble right now, and you don't feel like you have anyone to talk to, man, I am a vault. You can come to me. We'll talk. Sit down. We'll have a conversation with you. And we can talk about your problems. And I'll give you the best advice I can, or I'll give you no advice if you don't want it. If you just want to vent a bit, man, come talk to me. Before you try to do anything that's permanent, come talk to me, man. I mean, I'm here for you. Let me help you. I know Nick is the same way, and I know any of these guys would rather you talk to them than you opt out. But man, for real, mental health is a big deal. And if you've got a man in your life that you think, man, they're really struggling, maybe they're acting erratic, that erratic behavior doesn't come from nowhere. That comes from somewhere.
There are two things on the subject, and it's too important for me not to get. You can hear it in my voice. Serious Nick has come out. 22 American veterans a day end their lives.
Yeah.
22 of the men and women, but mostly men, who have signed a blank check for everything they have to defend this country and their lives every day. Please support them. Look out for the people in your life, and if you're having problems with it, the new suicide prevention number, if you need somebody to talk to that you don't want to, is 988. They made it simple so that you could have somebody to talk to. And yeah, I'll interrupt the show. 988. It's just because that's what we need to see. We need to help each other out, and we're all men here. And there has to come a point where we're going to stop and put aside some of the bullshit we put out there, and we're going to say, look, nobody's perfect. It's okay. And if you need help, it is a braver, stronger thing to reach out and get help than it is to just bowl through it. We have to change that attitude if we're going to stay alive.
Amen. Preach.
Sorry if I got
Let's take up an offering for Reverend Nick. I'm sorry. I gotta. We got real serious, and that was a very serious moment. But yes, it's very serious to us, so we don't take it lightly. But now, I'm
not an expert on this, but how many people actually get noticed? Because I don't know, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But didn't Robin Williams behave, normally that morning when his wife went out? And there was a footballer over here called Gary Speed about 10 years ago. He was on a football TV show, soccer. And then he went, and then an hour later, he hanged himself. So it must be, as I understand it, and again, forgive me, as I understand it, people who say they're going to commit suicide generally don't.
Yeah, usually they don't.
Because they do it. they don't.
The
tell
erratic
everybody they're
behavior
gonna do it.
eventually goes away, and they find how to pretend to be normal,
Right.
and then that's when it's going to be.
Okay, when you talk about depression, a lot of people don't know it, but it's like a well you have to crawl through. And at what you think rock bottom is, for some of most people's rock bottom is sad, as bad as it can get. It actually crumbles into something else for people with functional depression, where there are people who go through life, they're suicidal every single moment. The idolation is always there, but they're
always thinking, is this the moment? Like, this could be the. Should I do it right
normal,
now, or should I
they
wait?
Sound normal, and when they get treatment, they actually have to go through feeling worse about themselves because they've numbed all their emotion. But one of the things you find is, this is why I always check out on the people who are hurting, and then I check on the strongest among us. You look for the people who are always out there making things better. They're always brightening people. They just seem
Making
to
jokes,
driving. One of the reasons that mentality forms in a person is that they never want somebody to feel like they do. And that's one of the great breaks I've seen in a personality. When someone endures trauma, they either decide that I had to suffer, everyone should have to suffer. Or they endure trauma and they decide no one should ever have to feel like I do. And then they dedicate their lives. It happens time and time again. And that's why it's these people like Robin Williams. It's these comedians especially, because they want to make people happy. Because if they can't feel happy, they can bathe in it sideways. So watch the strongest, just like you watch, the people who obviously are weak, because those are the ones that are going to go.
Yep.
Zim, are you muted? Zim, you're muted.
I don't know how that happened. I didn't unmute myself last time. Anyway, but watch these people carefully too, because you never know what's going to trigger severe depression in a person. The most recent example that I can think of in the media was Naomi Judd, part of the Judd sisters, who sadly took her own life the day before she was being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which was like a big, super high point.
Yeah.
That was going to be like the epitome of her career. That triggered her into, and she had been fighting depression all of her life. And everybody knew that it was a major problem, but nobody knows when that trigger is going to happen. That drives that final depression.
Depression is a force that constantly lies to people, and the more option it has for fuel, the more powerful it gets.
Yeah.
So when something really good is coming, it starts screaming. Brian was in the chat. Imposter syndrome. You don't deserve this, and it will get louder anytime the norm is violated. So highs and lows can trigger it real easy. So that's when you got to watch the people you care about, folks.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is something that I've personally had like a lot of experience with I think since 2011, since I've been in. So when I first got into the military, and then when I got out in 2017, I think I've lost, I want to say, 20 guys in my unit to suicide or depression, and it's a really big deal. And 9 times out of 10, it's somebody that you would never expect. It's one of those things that, like, one of the things that I really don't like, but when I see how PTSD and trauma and everything is presented in like pop culture media, is that these guys always wear that stuff on their sleeve. It's very obvious and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is that while there's definitely people that are like that, a good majority of them are people that they don't wear it on their sleeve. They keep it bottled up deep down, and you would never have known until the moment it happens, and I really think that that's one of those things that it's like it really needs to get a better focus on and a better understanding of in a lot of different ways. You know, it's dangerous, and it's a fire. It spreads, and if you aren't looking carefully, it becomes an inferno, and it completely just engulfs these people. And it's a very scary and tragic thing, and all you can do is be there for them, and hopefully that helps them stoke the flames a little bit, keep it down. But
yeah, hopefully that's enough.
Yeah,
you just got to be there for them. You know, sometimes I think, you know, if people know that they're not alone, that makes all the difference. For some people, in some cases, you know, it's you know, working in the arts. You know, I think a lot of people in our field, creative field, they deal a lot with very strong emotions, and many of them deal with depression, and, you know, like, you know, imposter syndrome and stuff like that. Never feeling quite good enough. And I found that some of the loudest, most boisterous of characters are hiding the deepest pains, you know, and in many cases. And so let's be looking at that, you know, and taking those kind of things into consideration. Sometimes it's not about your offense. It's about their situation, what's going on with them. Sometimes you have to take yourself out of the equation. Sometimes people will lash out and say things and do things, but it's from a place of hurt that maybe you don't know anything about. And so sometimes we have to take ourselves out of the equation and think about what's going on there. But, you know, I guess that's the pastor in me talking. But if I can get anybody to do anything, it's think about yourself a little bit less. Try to think about others a little bit more. If we all do that, then that means we're all getting taken care of, right? It's like in a marriage. Like I say in a marriage, like it's not my job, my wife's responsibility to make me happy. It's my responsibility to make me happy. If I'm going to be happy, I'm going to make me happy. But I take it as my own personal responsibility to make her happy, right? So now I'm making her happy, but I'm also making me happy. But if she takes the same mentality, she's making her happy and she's making me happy. Now, every time she makes me happy, it's bonus. And every time I make her happy, it's bonus. But if we're doing it like it's our job, but we're not expecting it to be each other's job, now we're taking care of each other's needs, emotionally, physically, mentally. We're taking care of all that thing. See, if we could get our society, at least maybe our little circles, to do that more, to think less about us and more about others, and try to make it our jobs to try to help someone else have a little better day. Like I always say, leave the wood pile a little bit higher than you found it. If we could try to do that, I think we'll see happier people, more creative people. I think we'll see a more vibrant society, and maybe a little less ugly, because the world's getting pretty ugly. And we can talk about some of that stuff later, but you know, that's more for our, one of my night shows, and a little less for the morning show here. This is, you know, but if you're watching this morning and you're listening from work or on the road, and you're dealing with depressive thoughts, reach out to us or reach out to somebody. And if you've got somebody, check on them. Just ask them. You know, when I went to my dad's funeral that I did here a couple months ago, I was asking people, I said, "Are you happy?" That's a crazy question. It's like, well, that's, you know, like, why wouldn't they be happy? Try it. Ask someone, "Are you happy?" Give them permission to give you an honest answer. Are you happy? You'd be surprised. Some people can't answer that question. They can't say yes to that question. And that'll say a lot. That'll let you know who you need to take care of too. So there you go.
Well, that, thanks for all that. With that, I'm going to drop out now because I've got my own show coming up.
All right. Yep.
So what I'll do is I will probably come back later.
Sure.
Because I know you'll still be on air. So I'll.
Oh yeah, we're here for a while usually.
Yeah. So we'll see you later.
All right. We'll see you, Glenn. Nice having you today.
See you soon.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah. And we've got Hojo in the chat today. Said, "Hello, what a week! Looks like we all got the nasty." I'm thinking of Brian and his wife. My oldest just tested positive 2 days after me, so we're going to watch Star Trek all day. There you go. So a little. Hopefully, it's just the mild version of the vid, and it's not the hard stuff, because the hard stuff sucks. Hard stuff really sucks.
Make sure you treat all your symptoms seriously too. Don't take any.
Exactly. Yeah, all the
attack.
Rest in peace, Alan Grant.
Hard as you can.
What a rough year for the industry.
Yep.
Yeah, Alan Grant passed. Yeah. Brannigan Morris, nothing to do with me. I've been saying the exact same thing, Glenn. So he was referring to something that we were talked about when it was the book, the Kirby book, was nothing to do with him. But,
yep, it was the Kirby book because both.
Yeah,
of them
that's been a while ago. Yeah.
Both.
That's been a while ago. So who else do we got here? We've good morning this morning. We got Rich.
Hey, Rich
Jr.
Yeah,
he's here. We've got Frog G in the chat. Of course, we got Frog. I'm telling you, Frog G. He's the guy right there.
Yeah, man. Frog G doesn't mess around.
Yeah. Rich, this crazy Russian hacker on YouTube, has gotten thousands of dollars worth of knives for a fraction of the cost from TSA auctions. Yikes. Russian hackers.
No, it's true.
Not Russian spies. All American family here. All America. America, the beautiful. Pledge of Allegiance. Second Amendment. Yay. America.
Wait. Are you trying to get us banned? I mean, all you have to do is talk about freedom dispensers.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm in a mood.
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna drop it.
I don't like going places my knife isn't welcome.
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna drop it. Like, what was it? Like 2 weeks ago, Indiana went to constitutional carry, and just a couple of days ago, some dude walks into a mall with 2 rifles and a pistol. He kills 2, clips a third, and before he can get the 4th shot off, a 25-year-old guy or something like that 22-year-old guy pulls out his legally carried pistol and ends that MFer down. Ends that man.
It's almost that's why you have a constitutional right.
Just for a second, because at 40 yards with a Glock, he put 8 of 10 rounds into the dude.
8 of 10.
That's outstanding.
The only reason he didn't probably use all. He probably saved the last 2 for headshots if he needed them.
Ridiculous wonder, and gave him the ultimate Darwin Award for being a dummy. And I'm sorry,
but the media is not going to talk about this guy being a hero.
No,
because that goes against the narrative.
No, what they're
why
saying,
we encourage good guys to carry guns.
They're saying it was a gun-free zone. Why did he have the pistol?
Because the bad guy knows it was a gun-free zone. And here's the problem. One of the first guys that got killed didn't have a pistol, didn't have time to pull it because it happened so quick.
I mean,
no time to respond.
That's how it goes. I was Army infantry, right? And so when you're learning close quarter combat, like the worst position to have in a stack is first man, because you're effectively fucked. Like if there's someone there waiting for you,
it's like David sending his buddy whose wife he's stooping to the front line. It's like, dude, you're gonna die. It's the front line. You're fodder up there.
Like when you're doing a room clear and everything, it's why it's so when you're learning room clearing and everything, it's everybody is as close to one another as you can, so that like when that first guy goes through, that second guy is going through pretty much at the exact same time, and is covering whatever angle the first guy isn't, is because that's the best way to go about it. But like it's one of those things that like if there's a guy waiting for you in that other room and he's got the drop, that first guy at minimum is probably getting hit. And
that's what happened, man. This guy unfortunately lost his life, but fortunately there was a good guy with a gun, a civilian with a gun, who took out the bad guy.
Military experience, because I have a coworker that was pointing out that he was wearing an Air Force T-shirt or something like that. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he was somebody that went in, did like 4-year contract in the Air Force and got out and was like.
Well, I'm telling you, here's the thing: if you are a citizen with good mental health, right? I do believe mental health plays it, but you've got to be able to be willing to be able to take a life if it comes to it, right? If you're in that position right now and you are healthy and physically able to do it, buy yourself a gun, go through the waiting period, because there is a waiting period, to get that. Get your concealed carry if you need it in your state. Get your concealed carry. It's best for the bad guy not to know you got a gun so that they don't target you first, by the way. Just saying. Okay? But go to the classes. Go to the range. Get proficient in that weapon. Sling some lead down the range. Learn how to use that thing. Practice with it dry, holstering and unholstering.
This guy definitely had expertise, as we've been pointing out earlier. Is freaking all right when it comes down to using a handgun. It is way more skilled. Like, your fundamentals have to be like on point. And this is speaking as I went from being an infantryman, which is rifle based, to doing armed security, which is handgun based. I scored expert on pretty much every rifle exam by the end of my time in the Army. I barely passed the initial test for handgun on going armed security, because when you're using a rifle, you can literally just shove the buttstock into your shoulder, and that compensates for like 90% of your fundamentals.
Yeah.
But like when you're doing handgun and everything, any single dork up, whether it's jerking the trigger, whether it's not having as firm of a grip as you,
it's not having your finger placed on the trigger in the right manner.
Exactly.
Can cause you to pull your aim off.
And like that doesn't really affect anything from like when you're at like super close, but 40 yards to have 10 shots fired and miss only 2 from 40 yards
that's amazing. That's amazing skill. But you know what? You too can get that if you practice. Yeah. It's just anything.
It's a skill. It's not magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Nick teaching people sword. You can learn it. You can get it. And the truth is, you don't have to be 22 yet. And you don't have to be 22 and athletic. You can be an older person and still find the right firearm and be able to practice and become so proficient at that thing that you can hit your target. I'm gonna tell you what, my wife is a little lady. She's 5'4", and she can hit a target from 40 yards with a 45 pretty proficiently. My daughter, she's taller. And she used to lift weights in high school, so she's a little, she could probably lay some hurt on some dude. Yeah, she can lay some hurt on a guy if she needs to, and she can hit a target from 40 yards. They're both about the same kind of skill level, and so if they can do it, you can do it. But you got to practice. You got to go out there and you got to do it. You got to go around. And I'll be honest with you, guns, the media tells you they're scary, but they're not. They're not scary. Yeah, they're dangerous. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're supposed to be dangerous, right? But get proficient with it, and
I
be there.
think the term. This is one of those terms that needs to. People say guns are dangerous. I do not think they're dangerous. I think they're deadly, and I say that very deliberately because I respect deadly far more than I respect dangerous. It is a tool just like a wrench or a drill or a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. If you use it right and you know what you're doing, you can do what you're supposed to do with it. I'm sorry, my dad is a disabled Vietnam vet. He taught me how to shoot. I don't carry, and I'll admit it to anybody, because I have nerve damage and it causes tremors. I don't trust my marksmanship. So I don't want anybody thinking I'm some kind of hypocrite saying if you can carry, you should. Because what I am saying is if you know medically you can't,
you shouldn't. Then
you should be responsible enough.
One of the first things that I worked on when I got home, I didn't start carrying again until recently. I have a method of carrying to where I can access the firearm very quickly. Most people don't even know I've got it on me. But I can't grip with this arm. So racking like I used to isn't possible, right? So I had to work out another way to be able to rack my firearm. So I can rack my own firearm, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't need to when I'm out carrying, because it's already racked and ready to go. Like there's always one in the chamber with me, So you can
everything you do, Luke.
Always, right? Why would I do that any different? But in order before I cared, I had to make sure, can I hold the weapon? Can I aim? Can I hit my target? Am I going to be able to grip that gun when the explosion happens? With that kickback, can I handle all of those elements? And I didn't start caring again until I could do that. So, yay for recovery.
That's the right way to go about it. It's if you.
Anyway, we didn't mean to get off on this subject this morning, but man, I'll tell you what, it just stuff like that fires me up. And I'm a gun nerd. I am. I love guns. I wouldn't say I'm gun happy, but guns do make me happy. I think they can be used for fun recreation. Shooting's a lot of fun, but they're also a very useful tool in a situation like this, where this young, and what really got me fired up is the fact that you're not hearing about this. No one's talking about it in the media because it goes against all the narratives and they don't want to talk about it.
There is another really, really, really important thing that no one in these situations talks about. Because I heard recently somebody talking, and I will admit, my father, PTSD vet from Vietnam, Brownwater Navy. So I'm used to a PTSD approach to survival. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was trained that hypervigilance is normal. So for me, hypervigilance is normal. And I hear they're teaching, kids are afraid and they have to know where all the exits are. I'm like, why doesn't everybody always know? I mean, there's no justification for making yourself any softer a target than you have to. Yeah, and even when you're out,
it's just like when they banned body armor. I'm like, I know they banned body armor because they don't want mass shooters to have body armor. Mass shooters aren't following the laws. So what you're doing, I think they should put body armor for every last one of the kids in every school, in every classroom. Like if you got 20 kids, have 20 vests. Blankets or vests. Yeah, throw over these kids. Make it harder. Make it harder for these. No, I'm not even going to say morons. That's not a strong enough word. These evil, broken people. I mean, just completely fractured to make these kind of choices.
I like terms like genetic rejects or complete douche canoes. I don't want them to have any. They don't get no cool, zero cool. Because these are some chicken poop.
Yeah. To go after unarmed people. Right.
You want to
that guy walked into a mall that was a gun-free
join the military
zone.
and learn how to do it. They'll find a job for you.
The reason why this dude at the mall chose a gun-free zone is because he didn't expect anyone to shoot back. Yeah. But here's the thing: if bad guys know that someone's going to be shooting back, they're going to think twice before they do that. Well, they don't do it. It's because they're cowards.
Well, it's one of the things. So when you're going through like training for security, there are two lessons you get taught right up front. The first is that a bad person is always going to find a way to do a bad thing. There's if somebody really wants to get away with something, they'll figure out a way to do it. And then the second thing is that sheer presence of security alone is a deterrence for over 80% of incidents, because most people see that somebody is armed. Most people see that, there's a person that is armed, and they don't want to fuck with that. Mm-hmm. That is generally the rule. Because most people, it's the same reason why people get nasty on the internet, right? Is they feel like they have this anonymity protects them from reprisal. So the same
thing happens at the store when there's that counter between you.
Exactly.
I tell you, I used to have some people go off on me, and I'm kind of a big boy, and I used to have some people go off on me, with that counter between, and I would just step around the counter to talk to them face to face, and every time their entire countenance changed and they calmed down, because there's no longer that
there's
separation.
No longer a barrier.
Yeah, there's no longer that. And I didn't do it to intimidate them. I did it because I knew it would de-escalate their approach, so that we get into a conversation.
De-escalation via intimidation is a valid situation. I say this because I used to work at Home Depot. You know, that's not why I love orange, but you know, and they didn't like me having my knife, and that bothered me. You know, because knives are scary. But I had to move the beams around, so I had a 2-pound sledgehammer. It's in the room with me. That little, you know, the little short-handled 2-pound sledge that I wore on a hammer hook because I had to move the beams. And whenever I'd hear a customer getting really angry at one of the coworkers, I'd just walk over, wham!
Oh.
Safety check! And just bong one of those beams with the sledgehammer.
So that was you.
and you know, everybody's sorry, didn't mean to alarm you. I thought that was loose. I needed to set a beam. Is everything all right here? Sir, can I help you? How can I help you get it done?
I'll tell you. On to other news, Agent Zero says check out the latest Dojo Kun Comic Shell Shack show. You'll get some juicy details about my boy, Chrome Dog. That happens to be a project I'm working on now. I don't tie myself to many projects as closely as I do this one. A lot of times it's simply just a transaction for me. You know, I'm doing a job and I move on. You know, if they want my continued work, they get it. If they don't, but this one I don't know, man. Justin Sweet, he's a special guy, and so I'm a little tied more into this project than I am some other ones. It's very, you know, I'm treating it kind of like I do hybrids. I'm you know, I think it's a cool story, and I want people to get this book, man. I really do. So I'm working hard on the pages for it right now. Or Rift Riders, yeah. I treat it like it's my own. Frog G says, "Hail Agent Zero." Some people laughing at some of my stuff here. Hojo says, "I would love to be a TSA just for one day. I'd mess with people so hard. Sir, can you please remove your belt, roll it up, and place it in your left pocket?" That's my dream. I would too. It's like, okay, I'm going to need you to stand on one foot. Why do you need it? Are you refusing, sir? Are you refusing? Agent Zero gives a mega hail to Odin.
Hey, what's up,
We've got Todd from Redshift Comics here. Good morning, Bacon Nation. Good morning, Todd. It's good to have you. Johnny Cage is here. He's saying, catching up on some wrestling, and I'll be back to bully y'all shortly. We look forward to the bullying because it is always, I'll tell you, I posted on Twitter, I don't know, last week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago. My son and I were we were watching some YouTube videos, and this one guy we watch, I like his content, but he always he's like one of those like snobs where he, you know, it's like, well, I eat healthy, baby, you know, kind of like one of those people, right? And and every time I watch it, I'm like, you know, I like his content, but I just want to punch him. You know,
well,
it's
that's why you like his content. Maybe
because I'm just like the whole time he'll say things, and I'm like, man, I would just like karate chop his throat real quick for that one, you know. I'm not a violent person, I promise. I'm not a violent person.
Violence pastor.
But this guy, this is one of those guys that kind of evokes that, like, you've been around him where it's like, man, you just want to smack them upside the head when they say stupid stuff. He does that stuff, right? And my son, he said something, and my son goes, and we had just had the conversation. He's like, you know, bullies are bad, and we just all that kind of stuff, you know. Because I told him, you know, it's like, but I said, you know, this guy makes me, I kind of want to just smack him sometimes. He goes, oh, I understand that, you know. And so, but he goes, you know, Dad, some people weren't bullied enough, and it shows. I'm like, oh. He's like, you know, there's a real character building that happens when you get bullied. And yeah, I said, yeah, there is, son. You know, sometimes your kids will say stuff like that, and you just have to laugh. And I was like, I can't believe, you know, so I told my daughter what he said. She goes, yeah, she goes, I didn't even get to the character building part. And she just echoes the same thing he said. I'm like, so you think it too? She's like, yeah, it's really character building. You know, it's like, it teaches you not to be a jerk, you know, and it, she starts going through all the whole reasons why a little bit of bullying is pretty good for you. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Teaches you that the world is not, all right. The world is not always, is not generally a fair place. You've got to kind of fight for everything that you get. And I mean, I'm a firm believer of just because the world isn't a fair place doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to make it be. But part of that is learning how to stand your ground, learning how to plant your feet down and not be pushed around by the people that want you to submit, that want you to want to dominate your spirit, right?
Yeah, that could be super hard, you know. And the world is not safe.
No,
you know?
It's not.
And which that was their point, you know, and I think that's the point that I've been teaching them. You know, I think they kind of get that from me in a roundabout, you know, that you know, you're gonna have to fight out there. You know, we work in the arts, and there's one thing about being in, you know, if you go to like I used to go to A&R like showcases with my band. They are harsh, they are brutal, you know. They are not kind to you. They find the flaw in what you're doing and they make you feel it. But they're just being honest. They're being, you know, critiquing your art. And the thing is, art is very personal to a lot of people. And so what happens is you start to take it personal, you know, and that's why, you know, a guy like Dave Chappelle can be at the top of his game because his feelings don't get hurt about it. Yeah. Because he knows what he's doing, because he's already had the critiques and he's had his feelings hurt and he's gotten used to taking the lumps and the bruises. A lot of these folks out there, they can't take lumps and bruises, man. You give them a critique on their work and man, they get real personal. They don't want to be around you anymore. They, you know, they block you, you know, you're now canceled, whatever.
There is a difference between a bullying critique and a constructive critique, and I do want to put that out there, so that people don't get confused. Because there will always be D-bags who show up and like, your stuff sucks. Quit what you're doing.
Well, yeah, that's when you have to look at the source. You have to look at the source. If Randy tells me my stuff sucks,
from anyone you wouldn't go for advice.
Yeah, exactly. If Randy tells me my stuff sucks, I'm going to listen to Randy. But if some random dude,
he'll tell you why, though.
He'll tell me why.
That's a service.
I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And I trust him. But now if some random person comes in the comments later, you know, and says, hey, you know what, your work sucks, and this is why I think it sucks. Well, I don't know you, number one. Number two, I wouldn't go to you for advice, so I'm not going to take criticism from you. And number three, I don't care. Which is rule number one for me. I don't care.
I feel like approach is also like a big thing. If anybody just comes out and says your stuff sucks, I'm just gonna immediately go like, okay, cool. But like if they go, hey, you like I see what you're trying to do here, but I think it would be better if you did it like X, Y, and Z and tries to make a conversation about it, then it becomes a whole thing of, well, maybe that could be a different approach that I could take. That becomes like a learning point. I feel that what it comes down to is when you have an asshole, they're just trying to tear you down. But when you have someone that genuinely want like that you should listen to, their approach is always going to be constructive. Like I know that you mentioned like if Randy told you of something, if your work sucks, that's the whole thing is I don't think Randy would ever just say your work sucks. No. It would be, hey man, like I see what you're trying to do here.
This would be better if you did this.
Let's help you get to the next level. Let's this is what I think that you could do that could really push your stuff over, because that's
and I never tell anyone their stuff sucks. I say this is what you can do to make this better. I never use the word sucks or bad.
Exactly, and I think that's really what it comes down to is people that you shouldn't listen to are going to come at you and try and destroy what you've built.
Yeah. I tell them if you do this, it would be better.
Yeah, if people,
and that's how I always frame it. Joe Bachman, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say if somebody is approaching you trying to build you up, that's someone you listen to.
Yeah, Joe Bachman just agrees and echoes with what we said earlier about people that are always trying to bring light to the world. They live in darkness that some people will never understand. Yep. Rich also said something about toxic masculinity is the gasoline on the fire of male mental health. And I'm kind of disagree with that a little bit, because here's the thing. The world has framed all masculinity to be toxic. So if you think that what you are naturally is toxic, that's going to break you. Yep. That's going to break you.
Yep.
Right. And so maybe that's what you're trying to say, Rich. Maybe that's what you're saying. But it is not toxic to be masculine. Toxic masculinity is that like they bully for the sake of bullying, because what happened was they probably got beat up by their dad or abused or something like that by somebody in their life. So now they're turning that pain into abuse. That's toxic. And that's not necessarily masculinity. That's just toxicity. Toxicity comes out in many different ways.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference between masculinity and chauvinism.
Yes.
Big difference. And it's important for you to know that definition too.
Yeah.
And know the definition.
And I think maybe Rich does. I think he's saying in a tweetable fashion what we're saying too.
Yeah.
That's what I think he's saying.
People
agree with him. Yeah.
Just because Randy says it's important to understand, to know what that definition is, I'm just going to, so that everyone, including the people in the chat, are on the same page. It is an excessive or prejudiced support for one's own cause, group, or sex. Yep. So that is what we are talking about here, in case there is any confusion. So, and I think that's right on the money. Is like I think that masculinity in and of itself, being proud of who you are, and trying to be the best version of yourself, and constantly improve yourself, those are important things that I think are masculine traits.
Right. Yeah.
But like when it becomes a point where it becomes a He-Man woman hater group, not as a joke, but as like a legitimate thing of everyone is inferior, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah, but that's, again, I'm going to say that's toxicity that's just coming out, because
they're using being masculine as an excuse to be toxic.
Yeah,
that's why if you listen to what's being said by those guys, because we're talking about masculine, toxic masculine, and you go word for word what they say, and you take what some of the classic Karens say, it's almost exactly the same thing. That's why I can't take them serious.
Yeah, it's toxicity is what it is. And so let's label that what it is. But hey, one of our channel members, the Geek Avengers here, and he's dropping in his Russian. There's nothing to see here. This is perfect American show. We are all about America. God bless Uncle Sam.
Soviet Russia YouTube comments on you.
No, there's not Russian spies. Not Russian spies. Geek Avenger says that's a positive thing. He was performing a public service, talking about the young man with the pew pew. And more comments about that. Let me see who else we got. We got Telepack Bunny here today, and Telepack Bunny says that was a heck of a grouping from a long way off. Yes, it was. Yeah, he did a good job. What a great guy. That kid was freaking John Wick. Yeah. We got Nefarious here today. Hey, Nefarious, it's nice to have you. What up, nerds? They just woke up. Time to take a break. That's the thing. I love taking a break first thing in the morning. But yesterday I worked all day. I forgot to eat. I didn't eat until 7 p.m. last night. I was like, I actually forgot to get up every so often and stretch. And I was hurting. I couldn't really move. I was like, I messed up. But I've been working. I'm lettering books now. I'm penciling and inking pages.
I
got a lot going.
You need a timer.
I got one on my watch and I just ignored it, man. I just powered through, dude.
I actually have a couple.
Yeah.
You have to get up every hour just to stretch.
Yeah. My favorite thing though is to wake up and then take a break. I love it. Like, let me get my break in right now, and then I'll work later. So I love doing that. But we got Sin Killer here today. What's up, Marv? Greetings, sinners. I can't hear you today. Too much noise at work. Have a great day. Hey, Chad. I'm sure we'll still be going by the time you get back here. And we've got doing that. A lot of people talking back and forth to each other, wishing them well wishes. Man, I love that our chat communicates with each other.
Chat is chatting.
Yeah. And Nefarious says, I wish more of bad pun on nerd bacon. Yeah. The kid was 22 years old.
His name was Elijah. I can't remember his last name.
Here's the thing. We should be making this guy a hero. But like Hojo said, in 24 hours, the story's dead because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It said exactly.
Well, see, that's what I want to say, because I know a couple people shortened it to Eli. So I'm going to do that because I'm not bashing the guy. It's just my memory works. I'm horrible with names.
Dude's a hero.
We need to talk about him and inverse to talking about the impotent little basement troll.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to get
no
Eli
name.
on this show. That's what I want to do. I want to get Eli on this show, and I want to talk to him. I want to give that man a round of applause, man.
Eli needs to do a gun safety course.
Yeah, he does. And he said he took that sucker out 8 out of 10 in the ring. Less than 2 minutes. The cops were 11 minutes out.
And think of how much damage could have been caused between them.
Right.
And then
And
the
you know
cops
what
would have
else?
had to
His
rush
girl-
in, not like the guys in school.
His girlfriend was a nurse, or is a nurse, and she either nurse or nursing student. I want to caveat that. But as soon as he was done dropping the punk, she was going over trying to treat people. We live in a world where things can get scary.
Yeah.
And one thing I believe, if you're going to learn how to put a cut in somebody, learn how to stitch somebody up.
Right.
It's part of the karmic debt of understanding violence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that sounds odd, but
Rich says all tools are deadly depending on how you use it. That is very true. I'll tell you what. It reminds me of a scene in Parks and Recreation when Ben
Offerman?
Wyatt was talking to Ron Swanson, and he says, that folder in my hands is a deadly weapon. It's deadlier than this crossbow in yours, or something like that, you know. And he's like, well, yeah, you're probably right. So anything can be deadly if you use it right. But unfortunately, like some of our, you know, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Maybe a wrench you can dodge. It's really hard to dodge those bullets, though.
That is a joke because I was lecturing my students during a practice a long time ago, and I've done it a couple times since, about being tactically aware while they're on the field. So they're out fencing, and they didn't know I had brought a large automatic Nerf gun and put it under the table because nobody looked. So while they're out fencing and stuff, I yelled incoming, and I mowed them down because I wanted to teach them to be tactically aware. I did a lot of that. I'm kind of shady. I'll hide a Nerf gun on my person just to.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. And Hojo, another vet, is agreeing with you, Odin, that handguns are a much different animal. They are. I've shot rifles and handguns. I'll tell you, they are vastly different.
Yep.
They're vastly different in how they handle.
Rifles are a lot easier to use. Handguns,
they really are. They're a lot easier, especially if you have both hands that you can put on them. I obviously don't have use of my left arm very much, so it's coming back a little bit, but I cannot hold the weight of the barrel with my left arm. So handgun is the only thing I can shoot right now.
What, Luke? Before you, it'll cost you some money, but get a SBR permit. Get a SBR tag and run a short-barreled rifle.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. There you go.
Yeah, because
I
know you're in a home, so you're looking at room clearing situations.
Yeah.
Why not run an SBR and
like a mule's leg?
Because I'll tell you what, my lightsabers, they just don't do the trick.
Yeah,
because they're not real.
And if they ever get funny about magazines like they are, I do want to remind you that mare's leg pistols exist for a reason.
Dude, I got a redneck buddy. He's got a magazine and an adapter kit for his AR, so he can practice with 22s, so he can use 22 rounds to practice with, right? And he goes, here's the deal. They put that thing where you can't have more than 10 rounds. He goes, but I take this thing off and I remove this little stopper, and now I can fit 25 in there. And I was like, that's that redneck ingenuity that I love. He was like, yeah, leave it up to a redneck. Rich says Machine Gun Preacher 2 starring Luke. Yeah. I used to have an AR-15 that sat behind me on my streams, but I wound up selling that. I sold that so I could pay for a print run for this huge deal that we had with Spencer's.
God. I still have those boxes in the garage, buddy.
Yeah, man, I got to get those. Once we move here, I got to work on. I got to figure out where I'm moving first.
Yeah.
And one of our channel members, Geek Adventure, says, problem is all the gun-free zones are always places where mass shooters go.
Yep.
That's by design. Exactly. They go there because it's gun-free. Again, they're cowards. They're cowards.
That's why you saw all that rash of shootouts in churches.
Yep.
A year or so back until started everybody, started.
Yeah, there are actually classes for concealed carry
at the church. Yeah,
there are now classes at churches. There's an entire business model based on going to churches and helping them know how to deal with active shooters and training security staff to take them out.
Yeah.
Like that's an entire ministry business now. So that like it's a thing.
Yeah.
So gun-free zones, that's what they go after. And sometimes they're just wanting to commit suicide by cop. And that's true. I know what my father-in-law's old business where he worked, one night they had a gal come. She had a gun and it wasn't a real gun, but it was a fake gun, but it was made up to look like a real one. And so she was, waving her around and everything until the cops took her out. And the cops wanted to take her out right there in the store so that she didn't hurt anybody. And then they found out it was a fake gun. She had done the whole thing just so the cops would kill her because she didn't want to pull the trigger herself. She didn't want to try to kill herself. She wanted the cops to do it.
Back to a mental illness
health,
issue,
man.
doesn't it?
It's mental health, man. We gotta look out for each other.
Yep.
That we gotta take care of each other. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see where we're at here. We've got speech today. Yeah. Biden mentioned all of the mass shootings. Had a speech yesterday and never brought this up. Exactly. No one wants to bring this up because it is the it goes against the narrative, man.
Yeah.
We got Mike Jimmy here today. Hell, Mike Jimmy, it's good to have you. Ice Queen, it's the first time I've seen Ice Queen in the chats. Ice Queen, it's nice to have you here today. Welcome to the Bacon Nation.
Yeah.
We're talking about some serious stuff
on some topics we don't normally.
Yeah.
So I just do want to be fair on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we won't shy away from literally anything here, but we're
this is
light
meant to
about
be
comics.
This is meant to be fun, and we're getting ready to talk about that. So who knows how long we're going to go today, but hopefully we're going to stay within the 2 to 2.5 hour range if we can. So, so we're getting ready to talk about some fun stuff, but it's nice to have you here. Great to have you. And let me see, who else do we have going on today? Everyone's saying hello again to everybody. Welcoming the Ice Queen. It's very nice to have you in today. And Telepathic Bunny is reminding everyone of the rules. I don't care. Why not? And uncancelable. So those are the rules, and we should live by those. And art can be subjective. So blanket comments of "it sucks" is irrelevant. An honest suggestion for improvement can be helpful. Exactly.
Amen.
And that's what we aim to do here: is build each other up, not tear each other down.
And she just said, "This is a great time for me." I think I'm just skipping ahead so that people know. I feel better about it. Okay, good. We want you to have fun here.
Good. We've got Cider Hype here today. Welcome, Cider Hype. Also, first time I've seen his name in the morning chat here. So it's good to have you. I don't like using public domain characters, but that's just me. I don't judge others over it. Same with toxic masculine characters. The world's too big for that kind of noise. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, preference is your preference. And
public domains are fun.
Terms like that because I've heard some people say that Superman is toxically masculine.
Yeah.
How is Superman toxic in any way, shape, or form?
Because he's a man. It must be what it is.
I'm just saying, it can happen.
I'm going to go off what the Ice Queen has to say here. I have zero problem with men being masculine. I quite enjoy it. I like to be a real woman too. You know what? I like
for you.
Ice Queen, you are in the right place. You're in the right place. Because that's kind of how we feel about things.
I'm pretty sure everybody here likes real women. We can just as a baseline.
Yes, accurate.
No plastic, no silicone. Yeah. I like them real, baby.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there looking for Eli to support him. I watch a gun tuber who wants to give him a red dot RMR. I think you should try and get him, and I do. I think we should try to hunt down Eli and get Eli on the show and say, look, man, let's talk. Let's talk about who you are and what you did to prepare for that.
I wonder who's going to get the rights. I forgive you, Nick.
Yeah.
Now, Frog, man, if I had any idea where you were or turned out to be local, it would be on like Donkey Kong. Just tell me an FPS limit. You know what I mean? I don't want to, bring out something heavy. But
so today is supposed to be the public domain character shootout, but we're actually talking about a real shootout. How did that happen? I don't know. It works out. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a sniper rifle, a few people might go missing. Yikes. Yeah, I feel you though. John Delarose.
And that was, of course, said in jest.
Of course, we're joking. Of course, we don't mean it.
We do not condone violence here. We do condone justice, which is a different thing.
We do. And so John Delarose says, good morning, Luke and friends. Good morning. He also likes to use some public domain characters from time to time.
Oh, which ones have you used, if you don't mind sharing? Because I'd love to know where your interests are.
Let's get into some public domain characters right now. Okay? So here's the deal. Public domain means that they are free use. You can use them in your stories. You can make books about them. I like to do, in fact, one of the things I had thought about doing in the past was doing an anthology of public domain characters just for fun, just to let new writers and artists kind of, flex their muscles a little bit, and be creative. So that's what I thought about doing. And here's why. Let me share one of these public domain characters for you. There's this website that you can go to called comicvine.gamespot. And there is a lot of, they've got them in alphabetical order over there. We're going to just go over one. Here's one I found. American Spirit. Do you guys remember the Fighting Yank?
Wow, yeah.
Guy had 28 issues he was in. American Spirit. Look at this character. I'm going to try to zoom in on this. It's basically like this gray person with American flag draped over him.
Now, see, this is one of those I want to comment on because look at the way the guy is built. He is built strong, but he's built more like real strong men are, like the people who actually do stuff.
Yeah.
And a little bit closer than the bodybuilder we see in a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this looks like a guy who swings an axe for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like the American Spirit.
Yeah.
This is a cool character, right? I thought it was
that's
pretty cool.
That is a neat way to do the design. I really do think that's cool.
So is this who did this redesign? I know I
no idea. No idea who did this.
Really good.
It's just here. It's just put. Yeah, it's really good. John Dillard says I revitalized Dynamite Thor. It's on Amazon. So Dynamite Thor.
Groovy.
We got Genuine Comics here in the chat today. Where's Genuine Comics at? There they are.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah. I love toxic masculine characters in feminine women. My comics have all the sexy goodness. Yes, they do. Yes, they really do.
There is no false advertising in that statement.
In fact, I really like this redesign of Fighting. I went and looked up like the original, and it's not bad, but it very much reminds me of Spirit of '76 from Marvel as the old design. But I think that this is way stronger.
Yep, it's very good.
I really like this redesign.
Hojo likes real women so much that he married one.
Oh man, him! What a champ!
Taking one for the team, right? No, man, no, seriously. And by the way, I just want to tell you, if you're watching, please consider subscribing, liking, maybe even joining as a member of the channel, but definitely ring the bell so you can know when more content comes out. Unabashedly, Nick is my leftist friend, and he helps keep us centered most days.
I love that I'm the leftist one, and if any test I take, I come up dead center politically.
Yeah,
that's what I find hilarious. I mean? I'm literally.
I talked last night, the other night on the nightcap, that I talked that I used to be a leftist, but somehow the criteria for being left has moved, and now I'm right. In fact, I'm probably they call me alt-right, but my values never changed, and I was leftist. But they moved the scale over, and now I'm over here, and I'm like, what happened?
It's a pendulum. Anyway, it's a pendulum that swings back and forth.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you get to see it.
Yeah. The content you will find on this channel is going to be very, very conservative sometimes in nature, and also very religious in nature at the time. I'm going to be doing some stuff called nerdword.org, and so I'm going to have some nerdword content coming up on here, where we, where the love of nerd culture and a growing faith, where they intersect. So pretty excited about that content coming up. John Delarose says, I just used Star Flag, the undercover girl. That's a short comic I'm putting up on Subscribe Star exclusively. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
I like that.
We got Rion, another one of our channel members. Rion is here today. Good morning, Rion. And again, you too could be a channel member. Man, I'm pitching today, aren't I?
Yeah. No, that's what we got to do. Hashtag always grow.
Yeah.
We gotta, remember, we are at war with multi-billion-dollar corporations for the right to have a voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you got to keep perspective on that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at some other ones here. There's a couple other ones. So apparently Adam from the Bible is a public domain character.
Yes.
So
well, pretty much any historical figure that you can think of, or literary figure from like antiquity through the 20th century, is public domain, is how that works. Like certain exceptions to the rule being like, Tolkien, because they have an estate that protects the rights of that. Like there are certain things that are kind of exceptions, but so we have this guy.
Well, the Lost Boys are public domain now. The original Peter Pan is. And so we're actually taking a spin on that with Rift Riders. So it's a kind of Doctor Who meets the Lost Boys. So we're kind of taking a spin on some of that public domain stuff and kind of reimagining that story in a different light. And so it's a lot of fun what we're doing there. That book is also in sign up right now. We don't have 200 signups yet. We just broke 50 signups, but we're trying to get there before launch. We're looking at launching next month.
You'll get there, man. I believe in you.
And signing up doesn't have any financial requirement.
I don't know.
No,
Costs
it's just
nothing to sign up.
It's literally just you put your email address in there, and it gives you an update. Like it cues you in for any updates on the campaign.
Yep.
It
lets you know. Even if you don't back it, you still get notified of the updates when the campaign is live. So like right now, if you've signed up for mine, like you just get the updates. It's great. It's great information. But anyway, here's a character I thought was really cool. It's a Spanish superhero. Pardon me. Has had 0 issues of this character, but Aguila Negro.
Black Eagle. That's cool.
Black Eagle. Black Eagle, yeah, is a Spanish superhero. No one's used that yet. And, with all of this, wanting to, have diversity and inclusion in comics, why aren't we grabbing some of these older characters like that?
And I mean, I hate to say it, if you wanted to do where's the best place to do something like a gender swap or race swap? You could much easier do it from something that's not been discussed in 100 years, if they have to go that route.
Now, I think we all knew Alan Quartermain was a...
Oh, yeah, because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was one of the best superhero movies ever made, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it.
Oh,
so you had the Black Eagle. You've also got American Eagle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a pretty fun character. I'm trying to find Black Ace. Black Ace was the...
So if you just go to the search engine on here, you'll be able to just look him up.
Oh, there you go.
Is this public domain? Is this the public domain superheroes wiki? Because there's like a Wikipedia dedicated.
No, I sent him some links from that because I was looking through it, going, these are fun.
Yeah, let's look at some of those. Let's look at some
I
of those.
I sent a couple just off of the wiki because I didn't find this site. This site is more in depth, but
I've been looking at some public domain characters. I'm going to be working on one called Judex that I'm kind of revitalizing. But like Judex was the inspiration for the Shadow.
The Black Buccaneer.
Oh man.
Okay. One thing that was bugging me, I hit this, and I remember when pirates were basically superheroes. Like, you know, 'cause they did superhero movies, but you had Zorro, and he didn't quite count, or a bunch of the old pirate movies. And I used to watch the old black and white pirate movies all the time. You know, Captain Blood, things like that. And I saw Black Buccaneer. I'm like, wait a second. He's a fencing master. He's a spy. He's a privateer. Why aren't we having more pulpy? Because I'm a sucker for pulp comics, you know?
Yeah. You know, now, there's a difference between pulp and noir. And a lot of people try to make pulp noir.
And I'm a sucker for noir, too.
But that's a conversation for Telepathic Bunny's channel.
Or we get him on here and we talk about the difference and our favorites in both genre.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Oh, real quick, I want to welcome Carrie. Carrie is here today. Welcome, Carrie. Subs to a lot of comic channels. Not heard of this one until Ice Queen tweeted this stream.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Ice Queen, for tweeting it out.
That's why sharing is important. Thank you, Carrie.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, make sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell and all that, fun stuff that everybody tells you to do. We're putting out content. We do this show every Thursday morning, and then now we've started a new show on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. called The Nightcap. And so it's the Nerd Nightcap, and so we have a good time with that. And last Tuesday was our inaugural show. It was a zero, we did a zero issue. And so we were just kind of messing around a bit, but we went for a while and had a good time. And next week we're gonna start bringing in guests, and it's a lot like this format, but it's at night, so it's a little rowdier, I think, sometimes. Or it might be. Who knows? It might be more chill. Who knows? But it's going to be a good time.
I think it's lower overt energy because I watched some of it, but it's more spicy topic.
Oh yeah. We talked about we talked about the Rippaverse, which has got a lot of people upset. I got a strike on Facebook for inciting violence because I posted some pro Rippaverse stuff.
Really?
Yeah. They took down my post. And they said, if you do it again, we're going to block your page.
Over where?
Over
Twitter?
on Facebook. No, Facebook.
Really?
Facebook,
that doesn't shock me.
Wow.
That's why I believe we
consulted.
Everybody should have a backup social media network in this day and age, at least.
Frog G has got the some pulp recommendation. This is a new pulp. Long Shadow. Long Shadow looks great. I'm not in love with their logo, but it looks great. It does. And Carrie's in the UK, so I may not catch all your streams, and that's fine. You can definitely catch them in playback. But I also
there's nothing wrong with reheating bacon, hon.
Yeah.
Bacon's always good.
Just
you can only watch a bit. Bacon bits are good. Trust us. And you need to do shorts for this channel called Bacon Bits. Anyway.
Oh, I should totally do that.
Yes.
All right, that's going to happen. In fact, I think I'll clip little bits of Nerd Bacon and do Bacon.
Now
bits.
that's beautiful. Mm-hmm. You've got all this footage. Might as well use it.
Yeah, because some of this stuff, people don't want to watch the whole thing to get, and we have some really cool statements that come out, and so it'd be nice to clip some of them and put them out as shorts. So I think that's going to happen. Look, see, an idea is birthed this morning.
Yep.
And so Hojo says interested in the difference between pulp versus noir. Yes.
Ooh, and he's got a link.
And he's got a link because that was a conversation that took place with Telepathic Bunny and a man called Kimasabi, Lee Byron, who is a great writer and editor himself.
Yep.
And we've got Hex out. We got Hex Allen here today. Welcome, Hex. It's nice to have you here today, and we appreciate you stopping by. Bacon Bits, absolutely. There's a joke there that I shouldn't make. It's inappropriate. Anyway,
I applaud your control.
Anyway,
I don't see that.
Blazing Comics #1, 1944, was the Black Buccaneer. His origin, Jeffrey Scott, was a fencing instructor at Versailles. Versailles?
Versailles.
Wow.
Versailles.
Oh, Versailles? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought because there's a Versailles in Indiana, and it's spelled basically the same way.
It is
So
spelled
Versailles.
the same way. It's just got
For
a
Hoosiers, we call it
pronunciation.
Versailles.
Hoosier pronunciation. Is that what it is?
Some people,
Yeah.
some people will call it Versailles. Usually, it's pronounced Versailles because there's actually a lot of French historical
Well, actually,
representation.
I know a guy. I know a guy that actually works there, and he calls it Versailles.
So Versailles is was like the palace of the French monarchy after Louis XIV. He moved it from the Tuileries Palace in Paris to Versailles so that he would prevent another Fronde. So
Thank
like
you
Thank you for
forgot
instructing
that
everyone.
You're a fellow history buff.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
God!
So anyway, he was also a spy and a legendary privateer. The Black Buccaneer, he traveled the seas in his black ship, the Raven. He was helped by his friend Boris, and sometimes by his brother Ronnie. Ronnie, that sounds like a great character.
There was one issue.
oddly
What
unfriendly name for a character that's supposed to be based in.
He was 5 issues. He was in 5 issues.
But I mean, I saw this and I thought, how fun would it be to give that a Treasure Planet style spin?
Yeah,
And
a
then
Treasure Planet
and
Rebirth.
that's why I stopped. Why the list of names I gave you? There were all these great pirates: Captain Blood, the Black Buccaneer, and I'm looking at all these pirates and I'm going, why don't we do we as independents do something like a space, another pirate space sci-fi kind of thing, and just run with it.
We've got dang.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the ads.
I mean that's one of the big things that like channel like sites like this make their revenue off of selling.
I mean,
Crazy ads, yeah. Crazy ads. So anyway, here we go. We've got another one called the Boogeyman. Is that how you spell boogie?
Got a nice like Phantom Stranger vibe to
It
him.
really
oh
does.
yes.
Yeah.
Apparently these were all a company called Red Band.
Red Band Comics.
And I really want to look into them now because everything I've seen by them, because they have their own little multiverse even back then.
Yeah, and like they were doing something kind of fun and very pulpy.
Oh,
back in
yes.
1944, that's all it was really. It's pulp back then, wasn't it?
Basically.
So this is Kendall Richards, and he was a mystery writer. A writer? Where's Telepathic Bunny? He loves writers. He'd love this character. He was a mystery writer who has been such a big help to the police. That gangster, Rusty Blade. Ooh, that's a terrible name.
That's a great name.
Well, I mean, a terrible name as in, this guy ain't no fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah. Rusty Blade decided to have him eliminated. However, Richards proved too tough for Blade's thugs. Unfortunately, they managed to swipe the manuscript of his next book, which includes instructions on how to commit the perfect murder. Ooh, oh no. Blade has his thugs follow those instructions to kill Richards, but Richards was able to anticipate them, seeing as how he wrote the book and all. So he managed to avoid death without the gangsters realizing it, and now that Blade's thugs were no longer looking for him, Kendall assumed the guise of Boogeyman and brought them to justice.
It's a Spirit rip. Yeah.
It is. It is a rip off of Spirit.
But it's a delightful ripoff of Spirit. I mean, how fun is again? This is another
Wrote the
one.
book on it.
Right
Well-
down to the red tie, the blue suit, and the domino mask.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's the Spirit in the hat.
It is the Spirit.
But
And
you-
with a mustache.
You don't get sued for using a ripoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of public domain is that like a lot of these characters were characters that were trying to compete with these bigger name characters, and so they have like a lot of similarities. So it's the closest that a lot of us indie guys, without working actually at these companies, will get to handling some of those characters, where we can take our ideas for like our favorite characters and apply them to these public domain ones and kind of revitalize them and make them our own.
And why not? Because Marvel and DC have been doing that since, in my opinion, since Heroes Reborn in Crisis. They've been using pale imitations of the characters that they did.
Well, and they've been ripping each other off basically back and forth for as long. It's been going on as long as there's comics. Yeah. But again, it's another one of those where, okay, if you made that a modern, you tweak it, make it a more modern concept where he's he's a blogger or something. Yeah. And then instead of having magic, he can do stuff hackery, because hacking and magic are the same in most comic books, let's be honest. Yeah. Right there, it just you could tweak that into something earth-shaking and have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. We got Comics with Drew here today. Welcome, Comics with Drew. It's great to have you in the chat today. He says, Boom Boom Brannigan sounds like someone you don't want to let use your bathroom. Yes. What a great joke. And Drew, actually, he wins today. Congratulations. Round of applause. Way to go. You win in the comments for today. Way to go. Yeah, very proud of you. That was great.
Hamalana.
Yeah. Good stuff. So Boom Boom Brannigan. And we also go, right here we go. The Boogeyman could be a great superhero on the disco floor.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Oh, man. Frog D's trying to come in with a last-minute win on that one. But Drew accepts. Thank you. Yeah. So Boom Boom Brannigan. Here's a cool... what made you like this one?
Well, I was scrolling through, and it starts off so normal, and then it just goes completely off the rails.
Oh well, let's find out. Let's see where the rails get off.
Okay. Are you reading it, or am I?
You can read it. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, give me just a second. I gotta make my screen bigger because
I can read because I've got it big on my other screen over here. It's really easy.
No, I got it.
Read it.
Okay. Dennis Brannigan was a university history professor and former intercollegiate champion who believed that if a man were in reasonable shape, not super heroic, reasonable shape, he could use math and science to win nearly any fight. To prove this, he began training to fight as a professional boxer under Jed Rogers, believing that he could become the champion simply by applying a methodical strategy. This all sounds sane, right? This is okay.
Yeah. So far, I'm loving the concept.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, this is very
you could effectively turn this into One Punch Man based off of what I'm reading.
Right. Well, wait for it. No, you could. You really could. They may have. You don't know.
But wait, there's more.
But wait. Before his first exhibition bout, the world champion Tiger Tyrone, what a name, smacked Brannigan in the face with a book on Greek mythology. Brannigan had a vision of Pandora opening the box that Zeus placed in her care. Doing so released all forms of evil in the world, and Brannigan promised Pandora that he would help her uproot all evil in the world. When he awoke, Brannigan believed that his manager's daughter, Pandora Rogers, a social worker who hated fighting, was in fact a reincarnation of the original Pandora. He swore to keep his promise to her. Brannigan went on to defeat Tiger Tyrone and became world champion. He traveled the world defending his title while fighting evil outside the ring. He faced a number of unusual enemies, including hypnotists and Captain Heroic. That hits like
I didn't see that coming.
Mythology the face.
Here's a reasonable guy trying to test a theory, he gets knocked silly and comes back as a mental patient.
Yeah, if I were to do this, I would like have it be that when he gets hit with the book on Greek mythology, he gets sent back there, and the championship that he goes through is him fighting each of the evil personas from within Pandora's box.
You've like already done that.
Champions,
story,
have them in like Greek cestus and everything like that.
Yes! Aren't you already doing that story a little bit?
No.
Nobody is now. No,
you don't have a little bit of like Greek heroes fighting or like
mythology? I've got Elysian Fields, but like that's right? Totally different. This is
not
different.
Totally. It's in the same vein.
No, this is Luke. Stop. This is his next project.
I'm totally on board with it. No, I'm totally on board that Odin should do this, right? Because
everybody
it's in the same
write
thing
Odin
that
and demand that Odin does Michael Odin's Boom Boom Brannigan.
Because it's kind of already there in his wheelhouse, right?
Oh yeah.
So he can do this.
Bailiwick, and I get to use my favorite word.
Bailiwick. Yeah, come on, kids. It's my bailiwick.
My fine.
Right. See? Oh. He's got moxie. You see? Oh. Anyway, I do weird voices now. I don't know why.
It happens.
It annoys the crap out of my wife.
How cool and just absolutely like I see this being either a Tom Hardy or a Johnny Depp character.
You can't get someone that's too yoked because like even with this picture is the whole point is he's in reasonably good shape. So it's like he's got an athletic build. This is even too much. Like he looks yoked here. You'd want him to be he doesn't look like he's in bad shape, but he doesn't look like he could actually compete in the boxing ring.
No, he just looks like he looks like a normal dude in the 1940s.
I think that this is actually like really similar to how they did like the Sherlock Holmes fight scenes.
Yes. Oh, those were amazing. I do want to point out one thing about this. So there's a thing that some artists live by. It's called "When in doubt, black it out." Right? You could tell the artist was not quite sure how the anatomy on that forearm would have looked, and so when in doubt, black it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, but still, it's better than most Marvel. I'd read that whole.
I love the idea. Odin, if you're not making this comic book in like 2 weeks, I'm gonna drive up to where you're at and kick your butt. How would you feel if a crippled kicked your butt?
I've got way too much stuff.
You know what?
I'll draft a script
if he uses mathematics.
You draft a script and I'll draw it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
It'll be the project you wanted to work on with me. We'll do it together.
Right? Okay. Nice. We got to hold them to this. Because I want to see.
We'll make $1,000 on this. We'll make $1,000.
We'll make exactly $5 hairs. But
it would be $5 more dollars than anybody's made on this.
We'll make enough. We'll make enough to buy a Greek mythology book.
We'll make.
You know what, friends? Luke's got to pay. A PayPal, you can give him money. Somebody send him money for a Greek mythology book.
I think it runs about $15
one of mine. I've got like 12.
Well, yeah.
He's got like 12. I got 12.
You always need more.
I'm a big nerd. I got 12 books.
I am.
I lost all mine in the flood.
Man, I love messing with you because if you could see my bookshelf, I got like 100 books on theology.
Yeah.
I'm a theology nerd. Yeah. That's what cracks me up because people think, oh, he's just like a comic book nerd. And then they want to argue like biblical theology with me. I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
Which concordances are we starting with? Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't know. So I just want to point out, Drew says, I should have guessed I'd find Odin in a stream about spirit knockoff characters.
I
throwing some shade at Odin today.
Comic. I love G's most recent comment. This is golden.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. So, wait. Captain Heroic. Yeah. So let's look at Captain Heroic.
I don't even know.
Before we move on, we have to see Frog G's
We'll get there. But we are going to look at Captain
Yes,
Heroic.
Frog G's comment. No, you can.
Let's get down there. Okay. Well, all right. Frog G, where you at there?
It's
Tens
right
of
under
dollars.
yes, Rich.
Tens of dollars
Tens
could be
of
yours.
dollars could be yours.
Let's
Yes,
do it.
folks, you can make the kind of money I make online.
All right, Odin. I'm serious. You write a script, I'll draw it.
All right, hold on. I'm looking up Pandora, the entities inside Pandora's box. There's a few.
You don't
of
already
them.
know this? Come on.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
been a while since I've taken a look at the Pandora, man.
We're gonna make tens of dollars on this.
Yes, absolutely.
And this gives us
Richard
a chance
says-
to have Luke draw an absolutely smoking Pandora.
Yeah.
Because
Ah.
everybody has to want Pandora's box. And you know,
Hold on a second. You're killing me with this stuff. Oh my gosh. Where's it at? Here we go. I've moved.
Bradley Cooper. Yes! Oh, good choice. Strong's Concordance. I give bonus points to conversation.
I got strong. Yeah.
So Luke, for our project, the evils inside Pandora's box are disease, war, vice, toil, and this is going to be the stumper, the necessity to work for sustenance.
What
Good
the
luck.
heck?
Good luck figuring out a character design for that.
Hey, wait. I just went to
I'm gonna draw
one of my
Trump.
favorite movies of all time. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? The song about where they hung the jerk who invented work in the Big Rock Candy Mountains.
Dude, I
know-
love that song.
And they talk about they found the guy who invented short handles and picks. Something bad happened to him.
Yep.
Short, and it's like, yeah, that
Big
guy.
Rock Candy Mountain. Is that song copyrighted? I could get a copyright strike on that one.
Not by my performance.
Aaron Mayer.
It's like
Bradley
we're-
Cooper's Captain Heroic. Yes, absolutely. Barista.
Batista
Or
is
Batista is Tiger
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
And there
Oh, I-
has
I
to
see
be an
it
Eye
coming.
of the Tiger joke. There has to be an Eye of the Tiger joke at some point.
Chris Pratt as Boom Boom Brannigan.
Because
I
he
see
can be
it.
both. Because he's like normaling out now that he's not doing Guardians of the Galaxy again. He's starting to
Yeah.
like get
Normal out of it, yeah.
I'm hydrated and I have some fat
He's-
in my diet.
He's in reasonably good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Boom Boom
His
and
good
his
friend
very
Matt.
good friend Bam Bam go on an adventure smashing rocks. Oh man, you're right there with us. Big Rock Candy Mountain link, just in case you want to watch it.
Which you should. That is one of the best soundtracks of. It's probably my second favorite soundtrack movie.
Yeah, and truthfully, even Star-Lord is not terribly ripped or horribly
No,
ripped.
he
I mean,
isn't.
he is in the first one, but like after
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Well,
So
it's
here's
hard
the
to
deal.
stay ripped in space.
you're not-
His real name is Percy Appleby, Captain Heroic, and there is no content on this guy at all.
Beautiful. You
No
have a name and a
information.
blank slate. That's
Just a
all you
blank
need.
slate. Captain Heroic.
Basically,
His
a
real name is
superior,
Percy
a
Appleby.
superior athlete. He started out being a comic book superhero from Yipe Comics that comes to life thanks to a con man. And his basic powers are just basic athleticism, and he incorporated a jetpack into his suit so that he could fly.
So effectively, Booster Gold before Booster Gold.
Yes,
Zim, how do you know this?
because I just read it on the public domain wiki.
Oh, okay. I was like, do you have this stuff like downloaded?
I'm an
into your brain?
encyclopedia of
Yes,
useless
yes.
knowledge.
Zim, you could have totally BS that one, and we all would have believed you.
I could
Yeah,
have.
they would have been like,
But,
it's
I'm
an honest man at heart.
Zimmerman, guys.
The internet would have been proud of you. That's how.
I'm an honest man at heart.
Oh wow, man! Did you know? Have you
The-
heard
the-
about?
the-
Have
the
you
ki-
heard
the-
about Zem?
The
Zim knows
costume looks
everything.
goofy, but the idea is real sound. Same thing
Yeah.
with Uncle Marvel. Remember Uncle Marvel
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
from the old Shazam Captain Marvels? He just put on a red suit and pretended to say Shazam.
Jetpack and
Yeah.
cape.
Jetpack and cape.
No
Not
capes.
well thought out. But you know what? That
Yeah,
could make
but
it. That could make a comedy bit.
Yeah.
Well, like,
You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could have a little bit of fun with that.
You could
But I think the
completely
cape is to
overhaul
hide
his-
the jetpack.
Yes.
You can completely overhaul his design here as well, because as I said, like he really does feel like he's a con man that wants people to think he's a superhero. You could make this like boost your gold and really play up the tech elements
Mhm.
of his
And
thing.
he could make up his backstory that he was a comic book character come to life.
Exactly.
But just spending a little time on these wiki pages, you get to see the type of imagination that was just fueled back in the late 30s and 40s. Some crazy stuff out there.
Yeah.
Crazy, but cool
See,
stuff. Some of
I'll
it's
sit
really hokey, but because time marches on. But
Yeah.
a lot of it is real usable.
I sit around at lunch and at dinner, and I just imagine, these kind of weird worlds. So Sunday we went to Nuke's. I don't know if you guys have a Nuke's where you're at, but it's the Newcomb family restaurant. They do soup, salads, sandwiches, stuff like that. And so we went to Nuke's and we were eating. And the manager there is a big, stocky black guy. He was wearing a hoodie. You could tell this dude has like dreads, like he has massive hair, right? Because the hoodie was up and it was covering all the hair. But it gave this body like this weird shape, like a porcupine, or whatever. So I got to thinking, man, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if if there was a character that had porcupine quills or like hedgehog quills, but they were katana blades, and he had to hide them under a hoodie so nobody could see him, And so he's like working a normal job, and then somebody breaks in, and like they're robbing the place, and he's like, "Dude, you should probably just turn around and walk away." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about? I got a gun." And he was like, "Yeah, that's all right." He goes, he says some quippy thing like, sometimes it's okay to bring a knife to a gunfight. And he like flexes his quills and the hoodie pops off and he starts shooting these blades at him, right? And he starts fighting with these katana blade quills. But all of his friends call him Sonic because he looks like a hedgehog. And he hates it. He hates that his friends call him Sonic. So that was, it's that kind of imagination you see what was going on in the 40s.
Yeah.
These kind of like silly ideas, but they were having fun. Comics were fun. They were enjoyable back then. That's why I wanted to look at some of these public domain characters today. And Frog G goes,
Wait,
Hedge katana
I
or
missed the end
katana
of that story due to some necessity. Tell me the guy with the dreads under his thing inspired you to create a guy named Dreadlock who was a hardcore gangster but had like Medusa powers with his hair.
Well, no, that's a different character now. Now I got a new one. It inspired me to create a hedgehog-looking guy.
Okay.
It's katana blades. His quills are blades, and he can shoot blades.
Oh, I did that.
People and use them.
I took it as, and I could see the character because it flashed in my mind right before I had to leave, where the kind of a more ripped Kingpin build, but a black guy with like waist length dreads, but all the dreads are capped in silver, like scorpion tail, like beads,
cool.
And he normally just does the horking thing. So you go a while not thinking he has a superpower, and then he goes, "I never said I wasn't super." And then the dreads, just because he's like,
they just come to life like Medusa.
They just come up and just start stinging people. And that's what went through my mind while I ran down the hallway to
that'd be fun. Yeah, but I've got the hedgehog guy. Let's catch up on some of these. Rich says because Randy is just that dang good.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Hey, but comics don't need to make sense. Yeah. People always ask what happens to Chlorine's clothes. Like, why do her clothes go into the gas form and not burn off? Because I can't draw a naked chick on the comic book page.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
Says you.
They're trying to get you to up the rating a bit because everybody knows Chlorine's hot.
And some of the best comics don't make sense on purpose.
Well, that's what makes comics escapism.
We got Finatra here. Welcome, Finatra, to the chat. It's great to have you here today. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel and sharing it out. Let people know about what we're doing here. Nerd Bacon. This is Nerd Bacon number 21 or 22.
22.
Or something.
Added a while.
We've been doing this for a minute, and we're going to keep doing it on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Just added a new show on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. called The Nightcap. And so we're having a little fun with that. So it's kind of the same format here, where we just talk crap about things, but we do get a little spicier in our conversation. It's a little more I don't know, a little more driven in some senses, I guess. We got Muhammad Zunar. Hi, Luke. Hey, what's up, Muhammad? Yep, I know you've DM'd me. If you DM me and I'm not responding, there's a reason. Okay, just put that out there in the world. Understand that, folks. If you DM me, I either have not seen it or I've seen it, and I don't care. It got real quiet.
Very quiet.
We were just letting you have your rant. We thought something more was coming, so
I got mean. All right, so let's chill a little bit, not too much. What is the? What's the link? It's https igg.me/@ what's the Aquila?
It's just Aquila. AQUILA.
Nope, LA. All right, let's check it out. All right, Aquila of the Phoenix, card number 1, Nightmare Fuel, killing it. 64 backers, 25 days left. This is his first 30.
Yeah, this is his first 30. He's crushing it. He got $2,000 on like day 1. We're already over halfway to the max stretch goal, which will be to have the book fully colored. But like it is just an outstanding book.
I remember hearing about this one because I remember loving the art.
Yeah, he was on the other day. For sign up. So I just want to watch the trailer real quick.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing. So I know that you're part of the project. You're helping edit or project manage?
I'm the editor, and I was hired to design his campaign page and everything.
Well, you better do a good job editing because that book comes out. I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, hey, that's part of the field.
Apparently, Luke is trying to double down on inciting violence to get banned, so he doesn't have to worry about streaming to Facebook anymore.
Yeah,
I really get this slash and burn mentality going. Not that
I'm burning it down. That really hurt my voice. I should not do that again. Anyway, let's check out this video. Is there audio? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
The art is fantastic.
Aliens that actually look aliens.
Yeah, this young artist that you found, she's amazing.
Kari's phenomenal.
She's going to be huge. Especially in the CG realm, she's going to be huge. Aquila. Live now. Here we go. Back it. Or you're
man. It's a pretty fantastic looking book, and it's crazy because when I was brought on, Aardvark had a different art team working on the book, and it was not as good. And it took a while, but I was just like, look, man, like
this alien face. I'm gonna
it's
interrupt
perfect
for a second. So here's the deal. I don't know if you're familiar with a what is the name of that? Source Point Press. They have a creator over there by the name of Bob Sally. And before he was picked up by them, he was an independent guy, and he did a book called I can't remember the name of it, but it was about aliens, and they were.
I know Bob Sally. He's a good dude. His book Broken Gargoyle is phenomenal.
Yeah, this was before that. It was about. Can't remember the name of it, but they were aliens that were kind of like, junkers or whatever, but one of the characters, this face reminds me of that character. You know, this alien looking face that's very expressive.
Yeah.
And you know, you can see the sweat on his face, on his brow. This is good. This is good stuff.
Well, and so I brought in when Aardvark finally was like, yeah, we need to do the art over. I brought in Kari Salvieju, who did my art for SPQR.
Yeah.
And she just crushed this. And
Really who did this piece right here? Did she do it?
So Kari did the line work on this. This was actually she initially did this for his entrance into this one part of the book, and she didn't like it, but like we were like, no, we can keep this, we can use this for something. So it's now a standee, and it's colored by Avery Ferdinand, who colored the remaster of Elysian Fields.
This is a good standee. And I'll tell you what, I had some troubles with my standees. A 6-inch standee is big.
Yeah,
that's a big standee. So I had a trouble with the source that I was given for standees for the stretch goal. They upped the price. They were like $13 a piece for the standees, and I was like, nope, sorry. So I
found some place that does it for like $2 per.
Yeah, I found a place in Canada.
Dumb question. When you say standee,
yeah,
are you talking cardboard or are you talking acrylic?
It's acrylic. Yeah, it's got a little base and it slides in.
I have an anime one of those. I just was curious.
Yeah.
So
if you backed hybrids, you'll be getting your bone standee.
Nice.
Oh,
that's what she said.
Really nice color work there.
Very nice.
Yeah, the Rich Ayala piece is really good.
Eric Hawkins 6 inches is average. I've only got a 3-inch standee, so I mean,
it's all good, man.
It's not so much the size of the standee; it's the quality of the standee.
Yes,
and unfortunately, you have a big and qualified standee. Qualified. Oh my gosh, words are hard. Anyway, looks like you got one of those 6 a.m. Looks like you got one of those chibis. So you're one of the cool kids. Yep. Very good. 5,000 Elliot Rodriguez mini print. Look at this. That mini print is cool.
Shades of Basil Wolverton.
That's great.
Just screams Basil Wolverton to me.
It does, doesn't it? It's got great hatching in there.
And I mean that as the best compliment possible.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Did you pay him per line?
I wasn't the one that paid him for this, but I mean, like, Elliot was really excited to do this, and he did a phenomenal job.
Fantastic work, Elliot.
Yeah,
this is the final stretch goal, is to get the book colored by Avery Ferdinand.
Look at that.
Gosh, man, I hope you guys get there.
I mean, we're well on track.
Sick, man, look at that.
You have to cherish a good colorist.
So much. You know? It pops so much.
Yeah, you absolutely have to cherish a good colorist to make sure that they're happy. Because that's
this
great
looks
work
really,
right there.
really good.
Yeah.
And we're, as I said, like, we're well over halfway there. We've still got, we're 20. We have we're like 5-6 days into the first 30 days. I'm 100% confident that we'll cross 6K.
Especially in 60 days. Of course you will.
Yeah, this is he had an outstanding start, and this page is really, like, people want to see this thing colored. They really want it colored.
And the truth is, with these Indiegogo campaigns, especially right now, you're going to have normally you get your biggest push the first and second day, kind of the first 24 to 48 hours, and then you get another push at the end. Absolutely. If you can maintain at least a couple backers every day in the middle,
and that's what he's been doing. Is he's been steadily going. He wrapped up the first weekend at I think just under $3, just around $3,000, and he's been edging ever closer to $4,000. He gets like 2 or 3 backers a day.
But that taking advantage of that 30-day thing, and the reason why, just so our viewers understand why we do this on Indiegogo, is they send out a mail to everyone that uses Indiegogo that says coming and going, right? And so it shows that you've got a project, what's getting ready to launch and what's getting ready to end. And so you take advantage of that with the algorithms by setting up the first 30 days so that you get that email bump right there. And then you extend it another 30 days so that you then get that email bump again. Okay. So that's how you beat the algorithms with Indiegogo.
Absolutely.
You can't do that with Kickstarter. That's why we use Indiegogo. So if you ever wonder why don't you just do it for 60 days? Because we're taking advantage of the system, basically.
You get two final day pushes is what you get.
Yeah. And so that helps tremendously in pushing that out. So very, very good stuff, man. I want this to succeed. So make sure you go and back this project. Get in there. Also want to welcome this morning. We've got Blue Teddy Narrations here. Oh, interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah. So that we're here to educate as much as we are. Welcome, Blue Teddy. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it out and ring that bell so you get more notifications. We're here every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So we did this hangout thing. We do it for 2. Sometimes it started out an hour, and I don't think we've ever been under an hour. I don't think we've ever been able to hit that.
No, we're quality. We're here for the long run.
We are. We're here to entertain. We're here to talk about a lot of stuff. And so we're that safe for work show that you can listen to on Thursday mornings. Kind of get you through the end of your week. Tomorrow is Friday. Hopefully payday for most of you, unless you're on a 2-week cycle. And you might have to wait a week, but getting ready to hit the weekend. And we're just talking about some nerd stuff, letting you think, getting your mind working. And then hopefully you'll get out there and be productive today. That's kind of the plan anyway.
Absolutely.
So Frog G's got to hop out, and I'll tell you what, I actually think that this might be a good time to close it down. Close this thing down. We've had a great show. I appreciate Zem being here today, Nolan being here today.
Before you go, before we go, and before we start giving our exit introductions, I want to point out to people that if you haven't found, it's comicbookplus.com. comicbookplus.com. There's a rabbit hole there for people to fall down for hours of public domain comics that have been scanned digitally and posted online for you to read and look through. There is some amazing golden age stuff up there.
Is it spelled out plus?
All sorts of different, yes, it's spelled out plus. All sorts of different publishers. It's kind of a wiki page where people have been posting public domain stuff. You have an option for comic strips. You have an option for old pulp magazines. It's you can spend literally days on this site looking over public domain material, and there's a lot of really great stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I've done it a number of times. Back when I was printing my comic paper locally, I was taking examples off of there and tracking down original stories to print, golden age stories to print in the paper whenever I couldn't get a original story together fast enough. One of my favorite characters is kind of a Dr. Midnight takeoff called Nitro, only it's Nightro. And it's about a guy who can see in the dark that fights crime. And there's some from Lev Gleason, I believe it is, the same guy who did the original Daredevil, the red and green or the red and blue Daredevil. There's some great characters out. Captain Battle's another favorite of mine. That's just a great, just rock'em sock'em type character, guy who's fighting World War II with a jetpack and a disintegrator ray gun. And a patch over his eye. Just great stuff.
I saw him. I almost referenced him, but
There's some great books up there. And like I said, you could spend days, weeks up there.
Thanks for that resource. Yeah, guys, find that, follow it, get inspired. Let it inspire you to make some awesome stuff out there. So we're gonna go around with a little milk.
And if you haven't read an issue of Crime Does Not Pay, definitely it's under Lev Gleason Publications. They're listed by publishers. Crime Does Not Pay.
Leeson or
amazing
Gleason?
stuff. Amazing stuff. Gleason, Lev Gleason, L-E-V.
Like
Gleason.
Okay. All right. Yeah, check that out. I'm gonna throw a little Miracle Grow on your screen when I do. Tell the folks where they can find you, and any parting last words. Okay.
All right. Well, my name is Michael Oden. You can find me on Twitter at ElysianFields_0. You can follow Nine Realms Publishing on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube, where we do weekly reviews of books on Fridays called Brews and Reviews. We currently have the sign up for the Embrace 2, which we're hoping to launch here this fall. And we are I am finishing getting everything ready to start fulfilling SPQR's Bizarre Adventure and Elysian Fields Remaster. So thanks so much for having me on, and make sure that you're back in Aquila Nightmare Fuel as well. We are so close to hitting our first stretch goal, and we're over halfway to hitting 6K for the fully colored stretch goal.
Absolutely.
So,
let's bacon wrap this thing today, guys. Let's do it.
Bacon wrap.
Absolutely.
Hey, folks, I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can find me primarily on Facebook, but I can be reached at thezimcast@gmail.com. But most importantly, I do 2 podcasts over on the Ragin' 2 network, RAGIN and the number 2, over on YouTube and on my Facebook page. I do the Zimcast on Wednesday nights. And if you missed last night's Zimcast, please go over there and take a look, because I am a longtime professional in this business. And we took a hard look, hopefully a good look, at the 2 polar opposite situations that have been happening in the comic industry lately, and that's the Rippaverse, of course, and the Oni Press situation, and what we can learn from those 2, and even when you put them together, what we can learn as independent and alternative comic publishers in this business from the examples of those 2 companies. And I also do Sunday Funnies on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Again, that's over on the Ragin' 2 network, where we try to put the fun back in funny books. And we have people on like Glenn Fleming, who was on earlier today. He's a regular on the show. And we talk about this comic business and the comic art, the art form and industry that we love so much. And we try to be positive. We try to put the fun back in funny books. And if you want to see me personally, my first convention appearance in like 3 years is going to be at the start of August 6th and 7th here in Flint, Michigan, at the really cool Comic Con that's being held in a great big sports arena. They had one last year and it went over really well. So he's doing it again, and they've invited me as a guest. I'll have a table there. I'll have original comics for sale, like Paragon here, Calico, well, not Calico, hybrids. I'll even have hybrids there to sell, and even Calico Ashard as well.
I got to get my copies of those books, man.
And I need to send you some, but we need to talk about that off the air.
Yeah.
But other than that, great. Catch me Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., Sunday Funnies. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. until at the start of August. We're going to move back an hour to 8 p.m. for the Zimcast over there. And you can always reach me at the Zimcast. If you want me to review your book, send me a PDF file over there at the Zimcast, and I will happily give it a review. Not a it sucks review, but a constructive review.
Yeah, very good.
Hi, I'm Nick Tucker. Let me get my glasses on so I can see you, because I was thinking. I am a freelance author, artist, swordmaster, and apparently YouTuber all over the place. I'm the host of Nevermind the Furthermore now, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. on the Nicholas Tucker YouTube channel. I'm co-host here on Nerd Bacon, 9 a.m. every Thursday, and I am the host of the Historical Fantasy Guild live stream on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. All my stuff can be found at nicholastalkert.com. So www.nicholastalkert.com is a short link. I have books on swordplay, the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe. I'm very close to finishing the Simple Spear, which will be third in the series. I have numerous game stuff, including Big Stompy Robots, which can be found at Amazon. Just look up Nicholas Talkert. You can also find me at Luke Stone Studios in the form of the amazing Hybrids Quick Play RPG. Now, before we leave on that one, I do want to point out I started work on Mr. Dreadlock, who was discussed. Now, if you guys want to see me use the hybrids, the lockdown engine, to make him into an actual functional villain, let us know in the comments.
You guys better put it in the comments. That'd be awesome. Do it. Do it. I said do it.
I gotta hear it.
Do it!
So other than that, folks, we are so glad you came to our lovely show. And Odin, please, whenever you have a Thursday morning off, contact me. We'll get you a link.
I'm available most when Thursdays. I don't generally have work until I don't have to be out of here until 3 p.m. So if you just shoot me the link, I drop off my kid at around 9. So I'll be back here, but I'll be able to hop in the show, especially given that you guys go for 2 hours.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah. Well, that's about you'll be hopping in about the time that Glenn hops out, so we can keep interesting people here instead of just me and Luke. And Zib knows by now. Randy knows, You two are the napping buddies. You have to you have to stick together.
The Zim knows. Yeah.
The Zim knows. So, I'm Luke Stone. Been one of your hosts today. And I can be found at lukestonestudios.com. It's pretty simple. lukestonestudios.com. I've got all my links up there, all the pertinent links. I actually have a book and sign up. We've got Rift Riders and sign up. My book Hybrids is still in demand. And so you can get that there. We're going to be having books up on my website soon, taking them down off of Indiegogo, going to the website, because you know what? You kind of gotta be self-sustaining these days. You never know when something's going to get jacked around just because your politics is unwanted. And so I'm actually working on doing a crowdfund for the not really a crowdfund, more like a group buy for the trade paperback re-release for Arrow Comics of the original trade paperback with all the new content. And so I'll be doing a group buy with that from the website. We need to raise a certain amount of money to be able to do the group buy. And so we're going to do it through my website, and I'll have a link up soon. I'm still working on that. It's all in beta right now, but it looks like it's going to be pretty sustainable. Excited about it, and secure. Security is number one for me, for everybody. So go to lukestonestudios.com, sign up for the mailing list, and get information there. Please subscribe to this channel. Consider being a member if you would. We also have super chats and super thanks. Jump in those things. That'll help me continue to make content for this channel for you, and we'll add new stuff. Sometimes we even do some weird product reviews, like the butt pad underwear and stuff like that.
The Danny DeVito pillow.
The Danny DeVito pillow was pretty good, yeah. And I've got a couple more other things I'm looking at getting so that we can review them here on the channel. But this is Nerd Bacon. We have loved hanging out with you today. Remember, try to build up more than you tear down. And by all means, leave the wood pile a little bit higher than you found it. And this has been one crazy circus. So you have a great day, and God bless.